For years, I have struggled with waking up in the morning. I used to set my alarm for 5:55 a.m., but I wouldn't even get out of bed until 6:30, sometimes 6:45. I would just keep hitting snooze over and over and over and over again until I could finally convince myself to get out of bed. This was a real problem for me, and I actually looked it up. This apparently is called sleep inertia, which 1/3 of people struggle with. So you 1/3 of people, this video is for you, because this was a problem for me for several years. And it wasn't until 6 months ago that I was able to solve this problem. And of all things that I solved it with, is my Apple Watch. So watch this video and I'll tell you exactly how I use my Apple Watch to solve my problem with sleeping in. Let's jump into the video. All right, everybody, thanks so much for getting back to the Malachi Corliss channel. I know it's been a while since a YouTube video, but a lot of stuff has been happening in my life. Might talk about it in a future video. Anyway, how did I stop from sleeping in? Well, I'll tell you. So back in January-ish, you know, the New Year's resolutions, all that kind of stuff going on. I've been working out for several years, but I wanted something that was a little more serious with tracking my workouts. So I actually got the Whoop 4.0. So this device, if you haven't ever seen it before, it's basically a fitness tracker, and it has all these cool little rings that tell you how much you've been stressed out for the day. But one of the features that I didn't realize it had when I first got it was the ability to vibrate in the morning and wake you up. However, I actually moved away from the Whoop because it was just too expensive. If you look at their membership plan, you know, over a year, you might pay $240 if you actually sign up for a full year in advance. But over 2 years, you could pay $400. That's a lot of money for a device. And I'm not saying it's a bad device, but it just wasn't for me. So the next thing I actually tried was I got a Fitbit Inspire 3. This did a lot of the same things that I wanted, but the only problem I had with it was it wasn't in the Apple ecosystem. And I'm an Apple fanboy, so it was kind of a big deal for me to have stuff that actually worked. So I returned both of these devices, and I actually got an Apple Watch Series 8. Now, I actually returned that too and got an Apple Watch Series 7 because I didn't really need any of the feature upgrades for Series 8 versus the Series 7, and I didn't need to spend as much money on an Apple Watch Ultra, but the Apple Watch SE 2 isn't as good. It was kind of like a perfect in the middle ground to get the Series 7 for me. One of these watches is the one I got. I got a renewed one, and this was probably about the price, $280, which if you think about it is about a year of Whoop. So that is the device I landed on for fitness tracking, but this video isn't about fitness tracking. It's about how I was able to wake up in the morning. Well, the Apple Watch actually has the same feature where it can vibrate your watch while you're wearing it so that you wake up in the morning. And this is what I started using just to see if it would be something that I could actually wake up to. So what I'm gonna do is actually walk through exactly on my phone the alarm settings that I have to make this happen. So let's see here. So what you do is you go to the clock, and I actually have this routined. So every morning I'll wake up at 5 a.m. right there, 5 a.m. And then what you do is you make sure that you have alarm checked, obviously. Sound and haptics, I actually have set to orbit, and then vibration is accent. This vibration pattern just seems to be active enough so it like wakes me up inside. And then what I do is I set my volume all the way to 0 because then my phone doesn't go off because I don't want to wake up my wife in the morning. And then what I actually do, and I might talk about later in the video, is I turn off snooze. And I'll circle back to that at some point here. So that's exactly what I do. Now, before I finish out the video, let me tell you, MalachiCorliss.com, I've been writing some articles. You can find an article about this. I have linked in the description. But if you want to go to MalachiCorliss.com and sign up for the mailing list, I will announce some things every once in a while. I will not spam you. Do not worry about that. So one of the questions that I've gotten from people about this whole process is, when you're wearing your watch to sleep at night, how do you keep it charged? Well, what I actually do is first thing in the morning, I will go work out because that's what I do right when I wake up in the morning. So I go work out, I come home, I have enough battery life with this Apple Watch, it's like a day and a half. So then what I will do is once I get back from my workout, I will take a shower, do my morning routine. Maybe that's what you're doing. I will put my Apple Watch on the charger so that by the time I am done getting ready for the day, it will be fully charged. The Apple Watch Series 7 and 8 have speed charging. I do not believe the Apple Watch SE 2 does, which is why I avoided it. So the other thing that I mentioned earlier in the video where I turned off snooze, why did I do that? Well, one of the things that I do when I set my alarm in the morning is I will actually not hit it until I am sitting up in bed. So this is something I basically am doing for myself, so I make sure I wake up in the morning. I will let my alarm go and vibrate on my wrist for as long as I need to until I wake up in the morning. This is basically so that I don't have the option to hit snooze, which makes me more aware in the morning to wake up. So one last thing, if you're worried about this method of waking up in the morning not actually working for you, or you're sleeping through it, or if it's not going to vibrate enough, just set a normal alarm on top of this one so that if you miss the vibration alarm on your wrist, you don't sleep in. And one other thing that is a super big benefit to this is you get to track your sleep if you wear your Apple Watch to bed. I wear it all night long so that in the morning I'm able to actually wake up. And I get to see how long I slept, how much I was in REM sleep or deep sleep versus whatever, how many times the kids woke me up last night. So anyway, that's all I have for this YouTube video. Thanks guys so much for watching. This has really benefited me a lot because I have been able to wake up at a consistent time, a consistent routine. I don't hit snooze anymore. My wife also doesn't have to wake up when I wake up because the vibration from the watch doesn't wake her up in the morning, which is awesome too. And this has really just helped me be more consistent with showing up to the gym or riding or things like that. So anyway, thanks so much for watching this YouTube video, guys. I appreciate it. See you guys in the next video. Peace.